everyone, Elizabeth here. The Last Laugh delivers stories that leave you speechless. If you're here for it, hit subscribe and let's go.
I was 28 when I received the text message that changed everything. Not because of what it said, but because of what it confirmed about my family's view of me. Estate discussion dinner. Friday 7 p.m. Morton's Steakhouse. Please don't embarrass us. It was from my mother. No greeting. No context. Just instructions and a warning. My older brother Marcus followed up 30 minutes later. Mature adults only. We're discussing serious financial matters. If you can't handle it professionally, stay home. I stared at those messages for a long time. I was sitting in my small one-bedroom apartment in Austin, the one my family constantly mocked as, that sad little place. They didn't know I owned the building. They didn't know a lot of things. See, I'd been the family disappointment for as long as I could remember. While Marcus went to Harvard Business School and my younger sister Vanessa became a successful real estate agent in Dallas, I'd chosen a nothing career as a property manager. That's what Dad called it before he passed away 2 years ago. A nothing career. Property management is just being a glorified janitor, he'd said at my college graduation party. Marcus runs investment portfolios. Vanessa sells million-dollar homes. Fixed toilets. Everyone had laughed. I hadn't. The truth was more complicated. But I'd learned early that my family wasn't interested in complicated truths. They were interested in the story they'd already written about me. Olivia, the underachiever. Olivia, the disappointment. Olivia, who would never amount to anything. So I let them believe it. Marcus was the crown prince of our family. 40 years old, investment banker, married to a corporate lawyer named Jennifer who wore her superiority like expensive perfume. They lived in a sprawling home in Highland Park, the kind of neighborhood where the median house price starts at $3 million. Vanessa, 35, was Dad's favorite daughter. She'd inherited his charm and his ruthlessness in business. She'd built a successful real estate career selling luxury properties to oil executives and tech entrepreneurs. She drove a white Tesla and posted constantly about her #blessed life. Then there was me. 28. Single. Living in a cramped apartment. Working a dead-end job. The family embarrassment. What they didn't know was that I'd been Grandma Ruth's favorite. What they didn't know was that Grandma Ruth had seen exactly what kind of people my siblings were becoming. What they didn't know was that Grandma Ruth had made some very specific decisions about her estate before she passed away 18 months ago. Decisions that were about to detonate at Friday's dinner. Grandma Ruth had been a formidable woman. She'd built her wealth slowly and carefully, buying rental properties in Texas throughout the 1970s and 80s when prices were low. By the time I was born, she owned 11 residential properties scattered across Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. Modest homes in working-class neighborhoods that generated steady rental income. Nothing flashy. Nothing impressive enough for Marcus and Vanessa to pay attention to. But those 11 properties. They were now worth somewhere between $6 and $8 million depending on the market. And they generated approximately $43,000 in monthly rental income. I knew this because I'd been managing them since I was 23. Grandma Ruth had approached me during my senior year of college. Olivia, she'd said, I need someone I can trust. Someone who understands that wealth isn't about showing off. It's about building something that lasts. She'd offered me a job managing her properties. $25 an hour to start, handling tenant relations, maintenance coordination, rent collection. It wasn't glamorous, but it was real. More importantly, she taught me everything about real estate investing. How to evaluate properties. How to calculate cap rates. How to build equity. How to treat tenants with respect while still running a profitable business. Your brother thinks wealth is about the size of your house, she told me once. Your sister thinks it's about the commission check. But real wealth, Olivia? Real wealth is about assets that generate income while you sleep. 3 years ago, when Grandma Ruth's health started declining, she'd called me to her lawyer's office. What happened there changed everything, but I'd kept it secret. Grandma Ruth had been explicit. Don't tell them until after I'm gone. Let them show you who they really are first. So I waited. I watched. I said nothing. Friday arrived. I dressed carefully, business casual, nothing too flashy. I drove my 7-year-old Honda Civic to Morton's, knowing my family would judge it. They always did. I arrived exactly on time. The hostess led me to a private dining room where my family was already seated. Mom, Marcus and Jennifer, Vanessa and her boyfriend Derek. Olivia, Mom said, her tone carrying that particular blend of disappointment and duty. You came. You invited me, I replied evenly. We weren't sure you'd understand the gravity of the situation, Marcus said, not looking up from his phone. He was wearing a Rolex that cost more than most people's cars. Vanessa gestured at the empty chair. Sit. We have a lot to cover. I sat. No one asked how I was. No one made small talk. They never did. Marcus cleared his throat, assuming his role as family spokesman. As you know, the estate settlement has been delayed for 18 months due to some complications with Grandma's will. Our attorneys have finally resolved the issues. We're here to discuss distribution. Distribution, I repeated. Yes. Marcus pulled out a folder. Grandma's estate consists primarily of her 11 rental properties in Texas. Combined current value, approximately $7.2 million. Annual rental income, approximately $516,000. I noticed he'd done his homework. The numbers were accurate. The properties, Marcus continued, will be divided according to contribution and capability. Vanessa and I have agreed to the following split. I'll take 6 properties focusing on the Houston assets where I can leverage my financial expertise. Vanessa will take 4 properties, specifically the Austin locations where her real estate connections will maximize value. That's 10 properties, I said quietly. Yes. Marcus finally looked at me. The San Antonio property, the smallest one, the duplex on the south side, will go to you. It needs significant work, but we thought it would be appropriate for your skill level. Vanessa added, you can manage it yourself. That's what you do, right? It'll be like practice for maybe eventually buying your own property someday. Jennifer, Marcus's wife, actually laughed. A small, cruel sound. I said nothing. Mom spoke up. Olivia, I know this might seem unfair, but your brother and sister have the business acumen to maximize these assets. You understand that, don't you? It's not personal. It's practical. Practical, I echoed. The settlement meeting is scheduled for next Friday, Marcus said. We'll need your signature on the distribution documents. Can we count on you to be professional about this? I met his eyes. Absolutely. Good. He closed the folder. Now should we order? I'm starving. We'd been sitting there for maybe 15 minutes, awkwardly perusing menus when Mom's phone rang. She'd left it on the table, volume up. We all saw the caller ID. Harrison and Associates law firm. Mom's face shifted. That's Grandma's attorney. I should take this. Put it on speaker, Marcus said immediately. This affects all of us. Mom hesitated, then complied. She answered, Hello, this is Christine Morrison. Mrs. Morrison, this is James Harrison from Harrison and Associates. I apologize for calling during dinner hour, but I've been trying to reach your daughter Olivia for 2 days. Her phone seems to be going straight to voicemail. Every eye turned to me. Olivia. Mr. Harrison continued. Are you there? I'm calling about the 11 Texas properties. We need your signature to finalize the trust administration. There are some time-sensitive tax matters that... Marcus interrupted, his voice sharp. I'm sorry, what did you just say? What does Olivia have to do with the trust administration? There was a pause. A long, pregnant pause. I'm sorry, Mr. Harrison said slowly. Who am I speaking with? This is Marcus Morrison, Ruth Morrison's grandson. I'm the executor of her estate. Another pause. Mr. Morrison, I think there's been some confusion. You're not the executor. You were never named executor. Your grandmother executed a complete estate transfer in 2021, well before her passing. The properties went into an irrevocable trust with Olivia Morrison as the sole beneficiary and trustee. The silence in that private dining room was absolute. Mom's face had gone chalk white. That's impossible. Mrs. Morrison, I assure you it's not only possible, it's been legally effective for over 3 years. Your mother executed quit-claim deeds transferring all 11 properties to Olivia in March 2021. The trust was funded and finalized in April 2021. Olivia has been the legal owner and manager of these properties for... That's a lie, Vanessa shouted, standing up so fast her chair fell backward. Those properties are part of Grandma's estate. They're part of the inheritance. There is no inheritance, Mr. Harrison said calmly. There are no properties in Mrs. Ruth Morrison's estate because she transferred them all before her death. This is completely legal and... Marcus grabbed the phone. This is fraud. This is elder abuse. Olivia manipulated a sick old woman into... Mr. Morrison, I need to stop you right there. I personally oversaw the transfer. Your grandmother was of completely sound mind. She passed multiple competency evaluations. She met with 3 different attorneys, not just our firm, to ensure everything was airtight. And she was quite explicit about why she was doing it. Why? The word came out of Mom like a gasp. Mr. Harrison's voice softened slightly. She said, and I'm quoting from my notes, I'm giving everything to Olivia because she's the only one who understands that wealth is about responsibility, not entitlement. She's the only one who sees people, not just assets. And she's the only one who won't waste what I built. The phone slipped from Marcus's hand and clattered onto the table. I picked up the phone. Mr. Harrison, this is Olivia. Olivia. Finally. Listen, I need you to come by the office Monday morning. We have some quarterly tax documents that require your signature, and there's a purchase offer on the Houston property that... I'll be there at 9, I said calmly. Perfect. See you then. I ended the call. Set the phone down. Looked at my family. 5 faces staring at me. 5 different expressions of shock, betrayal, rage, and disbelief. You. Mom's voice shook. You've owned those properties for 3 years. Yes. You've been collecting the rent? Managing them? All of it. Yes. That's what Grandma hired me to do when I was 23. That's what I've been doing ever since. And that's what I'll continue to do. Marcus found his voice and it came out strangled. Those properties generate $500,000 a year. 516,000, I corrected. Before expenses. Net income is approximately $378,000 annually. I pay taxes on it. I maintain the properties. I'm doing exactly what Grandma Ruth wanted. Vanessa's face had gone from white to red. You stole our inheritance. There was no inheritance to steal. Grandma Ruth made her decisions 3 years ago. She chose to give her assets to the grandchild who actually cared about building something, not just taking something. This is insane, Jennifer said. You're living in that tiny apartment while sitting on a $7 million property portfolio? The apartment is a tax strategy, I said calmly. I own the building actually, and 3 others in Austin. The rental income from Grandma's properties allowed me to start acquiring my own. I'm up to 17 properties now. Total portfolio value, approximately $11.3 million. The silence was deafening. You're a millionaire, Mom whispered. Technically yes. Though most of it's equity. I'm not particularly liquid, which is how I like it. Marcus slammed his hand on the table. You let us believe you were a failure. You let us mock you, pity you, treat you like... Like what, Marcus? Like you've been treating me my entire life. My voice stayed level, but something hard entered it. I didn't let you do anything. You chose to see me as less than. You chose to dismiss my career. You chose to judge my life without ever asking a single question about it. You should have told us, Mom said. Why? So you could demand I share? So Marcus could try to advise me on managing assets I'd already been successfully managing for years? So Vanessa could try to list the properties and take her commission? I shook my head. Grandma Ruth warned me about this. She said if I told you, you'd find ways to take it, control it, minimize it. She said to wait until the truth came out on its own. She turned you against us, Vanessa hissed. No. She gave me the space to see clearly. And what I saw was a family that valued status over substance. That measured worth in job titles and car brands. That never once asked if I was happy, if I was building something meaningful, if I was okay. Derek, Vanessa's boyfriend, who'd been silent this whole time, suddenly spoke. For what it's worth. I think your grandmother made the right call. He stood up. Vanessa, I'll be at the bar. He walked out. Vanessa gaped after him. Marcus wasn't done. You owe us. Those properties should be divided equally. It's only fair. Fair. I laughed, a sound without humor. You want to talk about fair? Let's talk about Thanksgiving 3 years ago when you told your colleagues I was Intellectually limited, because I chose property management over corporate finance. Let's talk about Christmas when Vanessa told her friends I was still figuring things out at 25. Let's talk about Dad's funeral when you both agreed I shouldn't speak because I might say something embarrassing. That's not, Vanessa started. I have nothing to prove to you, I cut her off. Grandma Ruth saw me. She valued me. She trusted me with her life's work and I've honored that trust. I've maintained her properties, treated her tenants with dignity, and grown her legacy into something even larger. I don't need your validation. I never did. Mom's eyes were wet. Olivia, please. We're family. Are we? Because family supports each other. Family asks how you're doing. Family doesn't need you to be rich to treat you with respect. I stood up. I came here tonight because you invited me. I stayed quiet about my success because I wanted to see if any of you would value me without it. You showed me exactly who you are. Where are you going? Marcus demanded. Anywhere else. I picked up my purse. Mr. Harrison will be in touch about Grandma's personal effects. You're welcome to those. The jewelry, the photos, the furniture. Divide it however you want. I don't need things to remember her. I have her legacy. You can't just walk away, Vanessa said desperately. Watch me. I was halfway to the door when Marcus played his final card. We'll contest the trust. Elder abuse, undue influence. We'll drag you through court for years. I turned back and I let them see something I'd been hiding. Not wealth but steel. Go ahead. I have 3 law firms on retainer. I have documentation of every conversation Grandma Ruth had about the transfer. I have competency evaluations from 4 different doctors. I have her journal where she wrote extensively about why she chose me and why she specifically disinherited you. That stopped him cold. Disinherited. You thought the properties were just complications in the estate? No, Marcus. Grandma Ruth specifically wrote both of you out of her will after the properties were transferred. She left you each $1 and a letter explaining exactly why. Your attorneys probably didn't share those letters, did they? From the look on their faces, the attorneys definitely had not shared those letters. Those letters detail every cruel comment, every dismissive gesture, every time you treated her like an ATM instead of a person. Every time you visited only to ask for money. Every time you couldn't be bothered to call on her birthday because you were too busy. My voice hardened. So yes, Marcus. Take me to court. Let's make those letters public record. Let's show everyone exactly what kind of people you are. I watched the fight drain out of him. Goodbye, I said. Mr. Harrison will be in touch about the personal effects distribution. Other than that, we have nothing to discuss. I walked out of that restaurant into the cool Texas evening. Behind me, I could hear raised voices, accusations flying. I didn't look back. The next 2 weeks were chaotic. Marcus did have his attorneys send threatening letters. They were politely but firmly rebutted by my legal team. Vanessa tried to reach out multiple times, texts that swung wildly between apologetic and accusatory. I blocked her number. Mom was the hardest. She called every day for a week, leaving tearful voicemails about family and forgiveness and moving forward. But she never once apologized. She never once acknowledged what they'd done. She just wanted things to go back to how they were, with her in control, with me being quiet and compliant. I didn't call back. Derek, Vanessa's boyfriend, reached out separately. Turns out he'd been watching the family dynamics for months and had his own concerns about Vanessa's character. They broke up 2 weeks after the dinner. He sent me a text. Your grandmother was a smart woman. I should have seen what she saw sooner. The story got around, of course. In wealthy circles, people talk. I heard through mutual acquaintances that Marcus and Jennifer were dealing with their own financial troubles. Leverage to the hilt, cash poor despite the impressive exterior. That's why he'd been counting on the inheritance. Vanessa's real estate business took a hit when word spread about the dinner confrontation. Turns out people don't like doing business with someone who publicly disparages their own family member. Who knew? 3 months after the dinner, I received a package from Mr. Harrison. Inside was a letter from Grandma Ruth, written before she died, with instructions to deliver it to me after the truth came out. My dearest Olivia, it began in her elegant handwriting. If you're reading this, then my attorneys finally reached you and your siblings finally know the truth. I imagine they're not taking it well. Good. I didn't give you those properties because you were my favorite, though you were. I gave them to you because you understood something your siblings never learned. Wealth is a tool, not a trophy. You treat tenants like human beings. You maintain properties with pride. You build instead of just buying. Your brother thinks money is about power. Your sister thinks it's about status. But you understand it's about responsibility. It's about creating stable housing for working families. It's about building something that matters. I'm proud of you. Not because you're rich now. You'd have made me proud even if you'd stayed a property manager your whole life. I'm proud because you're kind. Because you work hard. Because you never let their cruelty make you cruel. Use what I've given you to build something even bigger. Help people. Create opportunities. Show them what real wealth looks like. And Olivia, don't let them back in until they've earned it. If they ever do. All my love, Grandma Ruth. I cried reading that letter. Not sad tears, grateful ones. Grandma Ruth had seen me. Really seen me. And she'd given me not just properties, but permission to be exactly who I was. I'm sitting in my office. A real office now in a building I own, reviewing tenant applications for a new property I'm purchasing in San Antonio. My portfolio is up to 21 properties. I employ 3 full-time property managers and a maintenance team of 5. We're known for fair rents, quick repairs, and treating people with dignity. Last week, I started a scholarship fund in Grandma Ruth's name for young people pursuing careers in property management and real estate. Not the flashy side of real estate, the working side. The side that builds communities. Mom sends a text every few weeks. They're getting shorter. Less demanding. Recently, one just said, "I'm sorry I didn't see you." It's not enough yet. Maybe someday. Marcus and Vanessa haven't reached out since their lawyers confirmed they have no legal grounds to contest anything. I hear things through the grapevine. Marcus took a lower-paying job after his firm downsized. Vanessa is dating someone new and posting less about her #blessed life. I don't take pleasure in their struggles. But I don't feel responsible for fixing them either. Sometimes I drive past Morton's Steakhouse, the site of that explosive dinner. I think about the girl I was. The one who stayed quiet, who accepted their judgment, who let them think she was less than. And I think about who I became. Someone Grandma Ruth could trust. Someone who built something real. The inheritance wasn't the properties. It wasn't the money. The real inheritance was the lesson. That my worth was never determined by their approval. That success isn't about impressing people who've already decided not to be impressed. That the right people will see your value without you having to prove it. Grandma Ruth saw me. That was the gift. Everything else. That was just real estate.